My hands shook as I gripped my phone, scrolling through Instagram. There they were. My mom, my sister Ava, my dad, and James, my ex, all smiling around a candlelit table at the Pink Door in Seattle. They raised glasses, toasting Dad's 60th birthday. A party I didn't even know existed. I'm Sarah, and I just learned I'm the only family member left out of my dad's milestone celebration. It was last minute, sweetie, Mom's text pinged, right after I watched her story. You know how these things happen. Spontaneous? I zoomed in on the wine bottle in the photo. A 2017 Napa Valley Cabernet. The exact one I helped Dad choose 2 weeks ago, when he called for advice for a special night. My stomach twisted. You okay? Mia's voice broke through. My best friend sat across from me at a cozy Seattle cafe, our weekly coffee date forgotten. My latte sat untouched. They invited James, I said, turning my phone to show her the post. James, but not me. Mia's eyes widened. That jerk? Wait, isn't that the restaurant you scouted for Dad last month? Exactly. I scoffed. I spent hours researching their wine list for him. My phone buzzed. Ava posted another photo, her arm around James, all perfect smiles. Like he hadn't ghosted me after borrowing thousands. Like he hadn't made me feel worthless. Have you talked to Dad? Mia asked softly. He says Mom and Ava handled the guest list. He stays out of it. I took a shaky breath. You know what hurts most? This isn't new. I'm always the afterthought. The one they include when it's easy, ditch when it's not. Another photo loaded. Mom laughed at James' story, her eyes warm. I remembered begging her to listen when he owed me money. She called me dramatic. Ava shrugged it off. Mia squeezed my hand. Sarah, this is awful. You've got to say something. My phone lit up again. Dad texted, great wine pick, honey. Made the night. Something snapped inside me. They thought I'd stay quiet, like always. But not this time. I sat in the dim light of the Seattle cafe, my cold latte forgotten. Mia, my best friend, leaned forward, her eyes locked on mine. Sarah, they invited James? Your ex who scammed you. Her voice was sharp, cutting through my haze of hurt. I nodded, sliding my phone across the table. The Instagram photo glowed. James, grinning at Dad's birthday dinner. My family all there. Except me. He borrowed $75,000, I said, my voice low. Swore he'd pay me back. Then ghosted me. And now he's toasting with my family at the Pink Door. Mia's jaw dropped. Wait, isn't that the place you researched for your dad? The wine list you spent hours on. I gave a bitter laugh. Yeah, I thought I was helping him plan something special. Turns out, it was just for them. My phone buzzed. Ava, my sister, posted another photo. Her arm draped around James, both beaming. Like he hadn't spent years convincing me I was lucky to have him. Like he hadn't left me drowning in debt. Look at her, I muttered. Perfect Ava, acting like nothing's wrong. Mia scrolled through the post, her face darkening. This is messed up. They planned this, Sarah. And left you out. I stared at the table, memories flooding back. Last month, Dad called, asking about restaurants in Seattle. I'd pored over reviews, menus, even called the Pink Door to confirm their Cabernet stock. All for a night I wasn't invited to. I tried talking to them about James, I said. When he owed me money. Mom said I was overreacting. Ava told me I misunderstood the deal. Mia reached for my hand. This isn't okay. You can't let them keep doing this. Say something. I shook my head. What's the point? I'm always the outsider. The one they call when they need help, then forget when it's time to celebrate. My phone lit up again. Another post from Ava. James laughing, captioned, family vibes only. My chest tightened. You know what? I said, my voice steadying. I'm done swallowing this. They think I'll stay quiet. Not anymore. My phone buzzed in the Seattle cafe, the screen lighting up with a text from Dad. Amazing wine choice, Sarah. Really elevated the night. I stared at the words, my heart sinking. Elevated the night I wasn't invited to. The night where James, my ex, sat in my place at the Pink Door, charming my family. I set the phone down, my hands trembling. Mia, across the table, raised an eyebrow. What now? It's Dad, I said, my voice tight. Thanking me for the wine. Like I'm just the help, not his daughter. Mia leaned in, her eyes fierce. Sarah, this is beyond messed up. They're acting like you don't exist. I nodded, scrolling back to Ava's Instagram post. James, grinning next to her while I was erased. Something inside me cracked, years of being sidelined rushing to the surface. I opened my email, fingers hovering over a folder labeled James Evidence. Every manipulative text, every broken promise, every bank transfer for the $75,000 he swore he'd repay. He's doing it again, I said, my voice low. I bet he's pitching Dad some shady tech deal. Same game he played with me. Mia's eyes widened. You think he's scamming your dad? Exactly. I clicked an email from 8 months ago. James wrote, I'll pay you back once I land this investor. He never did. Now he was at Dad's birthday, probably working the same con. Sarah, Mia said, gripping my hand. You have to stop this. Show your dad the truth. I hesitated, picturing Mom's anger, Ava's cold stare. But then I saw James' smug face in those photos, toasting with my family's trust. You're right, I said, my resolve hardening. I'm done being the quiet one. I started drafting an email to Dad, my heart pounding. This would blow everything apart: Mom's perfect family image, Ava's loyalty to James. But I couldn't let him hurt them like he hurt me. Go for it, Mia said, her voice steady. But be ready. This won't just shake them. It'll change everything. I nodded, typing faster. For once, I wasn't backing down. Back in my Seattle apartment, I sat cross-legged on the couch, laptop glowing in the dark. It was past midnight, but sleep was impossible. My veins burned with purpose. All right, James, I muttered, opening the folder I called my digital vault. Every email, every text, every lie from my ex. I wasn't letting him scam my dad like he did me. My phone pinged. Mia texted, You sure about this? I replied, Never been sure. The first email, sent 9 months ago, was James begging after I threatened to sue. Sarah, please. This project's huge. I just need time to find an investor. I screenshotted it, adding it to a new document. Another email, bolder, made my blood boil. The $75,000 was an investment, not a loan. You're making it weird by asking for repayment. I laughed bitterly. Weird? When he'd pleaded for that money, promising interest. Another buzz. Mom's text, bright red on my screen. You're selfish, ignoring me. It was just dinner. Stop obsessing. I added her message to the file. Context matters. Then Dad called, his voice warm with wine. Sarah, that Cabernet was a hit. Even James raved. I couldn't hold back. Saw the photos, Dad. Hard to miss on Instagram. He sighed. Your mom planned it. James was just in town. I pulled up a recent email from James, dated 2 weeks ago. Quick question, I said. Did he pitch a tech project? Something about AI. Silence. How'd you know? My voice stayed calm. Because he fed me the same line, right before vanishing with my $75,000. Sarah, it's business, not personal. I smirked, though it hurt. Inviting my ex to your birthday, but not me, feels pretty personal. I hung up, diving back into my laptop. A tech friend had sent me James' investor summary months ago. One line stood out. Previous venture faced issues from a disgruntled ex-partner, personal, no legal weight. That was me. A footnote to ignore. My phone buzzed again. James texted, Heard you talked to your dad. Don't do this. I saved it, my fingers steady. They'd underestimated me. Not anymore. My phone rang, slicing through the late-night quiet of my Seattle apartment. Dad's name flashed on the screen. I hesitated, then answered, my heart racing. Hey, Sarah, he said, his voice rough from wine and celebration. Just wanted to say that Cabernet you picked was a showstopper. James couldn't stop talking about it. The words stung, each one a reminder of the birthday dinner I wasn't invited to. I saw the photos, Dad, I said, my voice sharp. All over Instagram. Hard to miss. A long pause. Oh, you know how your mom handles these things. James was just in town. I gripped my phone, pulling up an email from James, sent 2 weeks ago. Let me ask you something, I said, keeping my tone even. Did James pitch you a tech deal? Something about revolutionary AI? The silence was heavy. How do you know that? I took a deep breath. Because he gave me the same pitch, Dad. 8 months ago. Right before he disappeared with my $75,000. My words hung in the air, raw and unyielding. Sarah, he said, softer now, this is business. Not personal. I laughed, the sound bitter. Not personal? You invited my ex to your 60th birthday at the Pink Door. The one who scammed me. But not your own daughter. That feels pretty damn personal. Another pause, longer this time. You're saying he cheated you? I could hear the doubt in his voice, mixed with something else, guilt, maybe. Dad, I said, my resolve hardening, check your email tomorrow. I'm sending you everything. Every email, every text, every lie James told me. You'll see who he really is. My fingers trembled, but my voice stayed steady. Sarah, he trailed off. Just look at the evidence. Good night, Dad. Happy birthday. I hung up before he could respond, my chest tight with anger and relief. I turned back to my laptop, the folder of James' deceit open before me. This wasn't just about me anymore. It was about protecting Dad, even if it meant tearing down the family's perfect facade. They thought I'd stay silent. They were wrong. I sat in my Seattle apartment, the laptop's glow casting shadows on the walls. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, the email to Dad nearly complete. Attached were files from my James evidence folder, emails, texts, bank transfers proving he'd scammed me out of $75,000. Every word I typed felt like a step toward justice, but also a leap into chaos. This would shatter Mom's perfect family image, Ava's loyalty to James, everything. I wrote, Dad, these documents show James' lies. Bank statements, his promises, his threats. I'm sending this because you deserve the truth, not because I'm angry. My heart pounded as I proofread, knowing this email would change it all. My phone buzzed. James texted, I know you talked to your dad. Stop this, Sarah. We can work it out. I saved the message, adding it to my evidence. His desperation only fueled me. Another buzz. Ava's Instagram story popped up, a photo from the Pink Door. Caption, family means everything. Mom commented, blood is thicker than water. The hypocrisy burned. They celebrated with my ex, the man who'd hurt me, while I sat alone, piecing together their betrayal. I turned back to the email, my resolve steeling. No more silence. I hit send. The confirmation chime felt final, like a door slamming shut. My phone lit up instantly, James calling. I declined. 3 more calls followed, each one ignored. Then a text, you don't know what you've done. I whispered to the empty room, oh, I know exactly what I did. Relief washed over me, mixed with dread. Mom would be furious. Ava would never forgive me. But I'd chosen truth over their lies. I leaned back, exhausted but alive. My phone buzzed again. Mia texted, did you do it? I replied, it's done. She sent a thumbs up, then, brace yourself. They're not gonna take this lightly. I nodded to myself, picturing the storm coming. Mom's cold texts, Ava's social media attacks, Dad's shock when he opened that email. It was worth it. For once, I wasn't the one left out. I was the one taking control, and they'd have to face the consequences. Morning light crept through my Seattle apartment, but I hadn't slept. My phone buzzed relentlessly. An email from Dad, sent at 7:13 a.m., we need to talk. Thanks. The words made my hands shake. Not anger, not denial, just a quiet request. Then Ava's text hit like a slap. Hope you're happy, Sarah. You ruined everything. Mom's crying, Dad's silent, all because you couldn't handle being left out. I stared, my chest tight. I opened Instagram. Ava's stories painted me as a traitor. Some people crave drama, she posted. Mom chimed in, family stays loyal. Loyal to James, my ex, who'd scammed me out of $75,000. My phone rang. Dad. Sarah, he said, his voice heavy. The investment meeting was a mess. James lost it. Yelled about betrayal when Victor, my advisor, mentioned an SEC investigation. SEC? I sank onto the couch, stunned. Turns out, Dad continued, others were digging into James' deals. Your email tipped the scales. Security dragged him out. My mind reeled. This was bigger than I'd imagined. But Sarah, he added, Mom and Ava showed up to support James. Your mom, she's been in touch with him for months, pushing his tech pitch. The betrayal cut deep. She thought she was fixing things, Dad said. Said you were bitter about the breakup. I laughed, cold and sharp. Fixing things by ambushing you with my ex? My phone buzzed again. Ava's message, you destroyed us. James' life is over because of you. I forwarded it to Victor, my fingers steady despite the ache. Dad sighed. Your mom's calling it a family betrayal. This'll get ugly. I thought of all the times I'd stayed quiet for their sake, swallowing hurt at every dinner, every slight. Let it, I said. I'm done pretending. Pride flickered in his voice. That's my girl. My phone lit up with a voicemail from James' lawyer, threatening a defamation lawsuit. I saved it, my resolve unshaken. Mia texted, You okay? Ava's posts are vicious. I wasn't okay, but I was fighting. My email hadn't just saved Dad, it had sparked a fire, exposing James' lies to the world. And I wasn't backing down. I crashed at Mia's Seattle apartment, my phone a battlefield of notifications. Ava's Instagram was a war zone, her posts branding me a jealous traitor. Some choose revenge over family, she wrote, a throwback photo of her with James at Christmas. Mom piled on, posting a cropped shot from Dad's birthday at the pink door. Blood is thicker than water, her caption read. Some truths should stay buried. I scoffed, saving the screenshot. They were rewriting history, and I was the villain. My phone buzzed with a voicemail from James' lawyer. Cease and desist, Ms. Thompson. Defamation and interference with business. Contact us immediately. I forwarded it to Victor, Dad's advisor, my hands steady. Mia peeked over my shoulder. They're really going all in, huh? I nodded. It's easier than admitting James scammed me out of $75,000. Another buzz. An email from Elizabeth, James' former business partner. Saw Ava's posts, she wrote. James did the same to me. Here's proof. Attached were emails, contracts, bank records, carbon copies of his lies to me. Promises of repayment, threats when she pushed back. I forwarded everything to Victor, my heart racing. This wasn't just my fight anymore. Others were stepping forward, exposing James' web of deceit. Ava posted again, a cryptic story, loyalty means everything. The truth will out. I laughed bitterly. Truth? She and Mom were clinging to James' lies. My phone lit up with a text from Mom. This isn't your place, Sarah. Keep family matters private. Family only when it suited her. I sent it to Victor, every message another nail in their narrative. Mia handed me a coffee, her eyes soft. You're shaking things up, Sarah. But they're fighting dirty. I nodded, staring at Ava's latest post, now gaining thousands of likes. Let them, I said. Every word they post is evidence. Victor emailed back, smart move. Keep documenting. Dad's lawyer, Megan, will call tomorrow. Stay quiet until then. I shut off Instagram, the weight of the lawsuit, Mom's rejection, and Ava's fury crushing me. But Elizabeth's files burned in my mind, proof I wasn't alone. I wasn't running. I was building a case, and no amount of social media spin could bury the truth now. The lake house in Olympia welcomed me with its faded blue shutters and creaky docks stretching over calm waters. Dad waited on the porch, 2 coffee mugs in hand. Got your fishing gear? He asked, a tired smile breaking through. Up close, he looked worn, older than weeks ago. We settled into Adirondack chairs, the morning sun glinting off the lake. When did it start? He asked. With James. The money. The lies. I sipped my coffee, the weight of years spilling out. It began small. $5,000. He said it was temporary. Then it grew to $75,000. He isolated me, made me doubt myself. Dad's face tightened. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I met his eyes. I tried, Dad. Last Christmas, I mentioned the debt. Mom called me dramatic. Ava said I was bitter. You changed the subject. A fish splashed in the lake, ripples spreading. Dad set his mug down. I let you down, Sarah. For years, I avoided your mom's tantrums, Ava's drama. Kept the peace. But when I saw your email, Those files on James scams, I realized I wasn't just failing you. I was letting them hurt you. My phone buzzed Ava's latest Instagram jab. I ignored it. You know, I said, if they'd invited me to the pink door, none of this would have happened. James would have gotten his investment. Mom would have kept her perfect image. I'd have stayed quiet. Dad shook his head. And I'd have lost everything. Not just money. The truth. My phone buzzed again. Mom's lawyer, filing for divorce. She wants the house, Dad said, laughing darkly. Claims you turned me against her. After she invited James to my birthday. I pulled out my phone, showing a text from Megan, Dad's lawyer. James' team wants a settlement. His assets are frozen. Dad looked at me. Your call. I stared at the lake, its surface messy but real. No deal, I said. Some things matter more than money. Dad squeezed my shoulder, pride in his eyes. That's my girl. For the first time in years, I felt seen. Not the outsider, but his daughter, standing tall against the lies. The lake stretched before us, a promise of healing, one honest moment at a time. Morning sunlight poured into Maple Coffee House in Seattle as I waited for Ava. My phone buzzed with news. James pleaded guilty to a multi-million-dollar tech scam, his face plastered across every channel. The doorbell chimed. Ava walked in, no makeup, no Instagram pose. She looked like my childhood sister again. I'll grab your usual, I said, sliding out of the booth. Oat milk latte, extra shot. You remember? Ava clutched the cup, her voice soft. I just left Mom's. She's still denying everything. Says James was framed. She stared into her coffee. She asked me to fund his legal fees. For the first time, I said no. I raised an eyebrow. She didn't take it well? Ava shook her head. I saw her twist reality, and I realized I was becoming her. The posts, the fake screenshots, the perfect act. I deleted it all. My phone lit up. Dad texted, moving trucks here. Your mom's leaving. I showed Ava. Good, she said, firm. We don't need her shadow. She hesitated. Sarah, could we be sisters again? For real. I thought of every hurt, every ignored olive branch. But also Dad's support, the truth breaking free. It won't be easy, I said. Real work, not Instagram apologies. Ava nodded, pulling an envelope from her bag. Inside, printouts of her false posts about me. I'm posting a public apology, she said. The truth about James, Mom, how he treated you. No filters. I touched the papers. You don't have to. She smiled faintly. I do. For us. My phone buzzed. Victor, you'll get your $75,000 back. James' assets are frozen. I set it down. Money's not the point anymore. It's the truth. Ava murmured, remember hiding under the Olympia dock? Sharing secrets? I nodded, warmth spreading. Dad's turning the boathouse into an art studio for me. No judgment. That night at the lake house, Ava and I helped Dad with his terrible chili. It's awful, I teased, and Ava laughed, real and free. We ducked under the dock later, like kids, sharing truths. My phone stayed quiet, no notifications. The sunset painted the sky in raw, honest colors. Not perfect, but beautiful. Like family. Like healing. Like the story we'd write together, no filters needed.